I feel like it has been ages since we've sat down and done a Q&A. And I miss these videos so much. I miss just like talking to you guys without vlogging and just like showing random stuff. It's just so nice to be able to answer questions, and I know you guys have some questions. I'm gonna answer some questions that you guys asked in the YouTube video, but I'm also going to answer a few from Instagram. Without further ado, let's just get right into them. Okay, the question that was the most popular on my YouTube video was, how did you and your fiance meet? Honestly, you guys, we met on Hinge. At the time, I was living in Los Angeles, but I opened up my coaching business. But my coaching business was based out of Orange County. So I was driving to Orange County like at least 2 to 3 times a month. And my manager at the time was like, you should switch your Hinge to OC. Because dating in LA, it's so terrible in my personal opinion. I know that it's also like what you make of it and everything, just based on like what I was looking for and everything else. So you guys, I switched my Hinge for, I'm not even kidding, 1 minute while I was in OC, and then I was like, you know what, no, this is like, it's too far, I don't really see myself leaving LA, whatever. But in that 1 minute, Rami liked a picture of mine and immediately messaged me, and then we met up a week into us talking, and I suggested we do a coffee, and he kept insisting we do dinner, which I normally would never do a dinner date as a first date. Never, you guys. Because although I like the suggestion of dinner, coffee is so easy. It's so low commitment. You can just drink it, and if you don't have any chemistry, you can bounce out of there and you're not wasting his time, your time. There's also just like not a big investment in terms of like, it's not a big financial investment, whatever. In my opinion, I think it works for everyone, and then if you like each other, you can do dinner date and a second date. But I like when a guy suggests a dinner date, and he was very persistent with it, and I was like, okay, screw it. I liked him, like based on our texts and stuff. I don't even think either one of us like touched the food, maybe like a couple bites. But then afterwards, I was like, I really want dessert. He was like, I know a perfect spot, and he took me to Crystal Cove, like a milkshake spot, and it overlooks the ocean, and that is actually where we got engaged, because that day we sat and watched the sunset while we drank milkshakes, and we saw dolphins play. I'm not talking like dolphins, you know, swimming. No, they were playing with each other. It was so cool. People were like gathered. It was amazing. It was such a romantic 10 out of 10 date that I just remember being like, wow, this is crazy. Like the sunset was beautiful. Didn't want to leave. Like I ended up going home afterwards, and we ended up texting each other at the exact same time. It was 10:10. Again, I normally would not text a guy first. This is just me. Okay, look, I grew up in Eastern Europe. There are certain things that are like expectations, and a guy is supposed to text first. He was so persistent on like, please text me right as you park. Like I want to know right as you're home. And he texted me something along the lines of like, when can I see you next? And then we ended up having our second date 2 days later, and on our second date, it was a surprise, but he took me whale watching, because he was like, I loved watching you watch the dolphins on our first date. I was apparently so excited. He was like, I want to see that again. So we saw whales and dolphins. It was amazing. And we spent the whole day together, and then on our third date, he basically told me that he was not interested in seeing other people and asked me how I felt about that, and the rest was history. So there it is. Somebody asked, how did you know this was your soulmate? What was different about him from your relationship prior? I'm not gonna talk about prior relationships like specifically, but in general, the difference was I felt like there was a big part of me that was maybe just not being seen and not being like honored, and he understood that. He understood so much about me that I think other people just didn't. So I think that was probably the biggest difference, honestly. I've realized as I've gotten older that I used to say things like, well, I just feel X, Y, and Z, and that's it. I couldn't look at a person and be like, here are all his values, here's who he is, and that's why I feel about him the way that I feel. In the past, it would just be like, I don't know why I feel this way, I just do. And when I met Rami, I just saw so many things that I've never seen in the past. Somebody asked, do you have a boyfriend? You must be new here. Let's do just a few health and wellness questions. Weight loss tips for PCOS. Managing your blood sugar is probably number one. And how do you do that? quality food, quality sleep, adding healthy fats to your diet, avoiding processed sugar, not avoiding all sugar as a whole, but processed sugar, exercising regularly, again, sleep, stress, all those things, making sure you get your vitamin D, making sure that you're outside, not doing a lot of high intensity exercise, but working out and working out consistently, just really trying to get in tune with your body. Honestly, acupuncture, all these different things will help with PCOS, but mainly it's like your sleep, your diet, and managing your stress. Those would be like my top tips. Supplements you've been most consistent with. I love this question. To be honest, lately I have taken my foot off the gas when it comes to supplements. For a while there, I was really going at it with on taking all the supplements, and now I'm kind of like, I go through phases, okay? But something I've been so consistent with is the Eat Your Calm from Gem. This is their Chill Out Magnesium Bite, and I'm working with them on today's video, but you guys know I love Gem so much. They are such an amazing company. The Gem Bite, which is their multivitamin bite, the reason my grandparents went through the entire bag is because it is made with real food. It's real ingredients, which is just so much easier and better for your body to absorb versus like synthetic ones. And this has prebiotics, probiotics, mushrooms, ginger, chickpeas, black pepper, stone fruit, quinoa, golden chlorella, pumpkin seeds, turmeric, citrus. So many great ingredients, as you can see in the back, and you're pretty much just covering all of your bases with the one multivitamin bite. And again, you're taking it in a form of real food. The magnesium bite is so good, you guys. You have magnesium, which is so good for body and mind relaxation. There's lemon balm, chlorella, cinnamon, which is great for your gut health, coconut, cacao, and banana for B vitamins. Looks like a little chocolate bite. They're so good. If you feel like maybe you're not recovering well from your workouts, you're not sleeping well, this is the supplement. Anytime I have like a sweet craving, I have one of these. So I would say both of these I've been pretty consistent with. And right now, Gem's actually offering 50% off of your first month if you go to dailygem.com/Mariana and then use my code Mariana at checkout. I'm gonna have a link for you guys in the description bar. And I wanna tell you which one of these, if you're gonna choose between the two, I guess go with this one, but this one is so yummy and so good for you. I mean, get both. Just get both. Congrats on your engagement. Thank you. How did you know that he was the one? It was such a comforting feeling. It felt like coming home. Knowing someone is the one, it kind of starts off as like, could this be the one? Like this feels, there's a natural safety and calmness that you feel. For me, I felt very like deep understanding and parts of me that I have even like just forgotten about that felt alive again. But I didn't know necessarily he was the one until until I saw him with his family. His entire family was here for his brother's wedding, and when I saw the way he was with his sisters and his mom and his aunt and everything, it was just so easy for me to, I don't know how to really explain it. I just felt like he was just such an incredible man. This was somebody that I, at that moment, was like, oh, I really would be proud to be with for the rest of my life, and I would be proud, you know, if my kids were like him. And it was a lot of like very profound feelings that I had for him. He says that he almost knew like instantly, which is very interesting. I think a lot of men actually have that. It felt as if a lot of the things that I was looking for that I just didn't think were real all of a sudden manifested themselves in like this person, and all that I needed, like I saw it from the beginning, but I needed time to like make sure. And he is probably the most consistent person ever, and that's actually something that I would recommend like women look for: consistency and ability to communicate well, and just like somebody who wants the same things as you, wants the same life as you, has the same values as you. All those things are important, but then there's like that soul love tie connection, that best friend feeling, and that's just like, I don't know how to explain it. That's that love aspect that like very early at the beginning, but I was like, okay, hold on, wait a minute. And then he just continued to prove himself on and on, and he was so, this is a long question, but I'm gonna answer like parts of it. What was it that initially attracted you to each other? I kind of already answered that. What are your attachment styles? My experience growing up is very interesting because I think I have like weird disorganized attachment, to be honest with you guys, because I was an only child and my parents did leave when I was 5 to come to the United States, pursue careers here. It was a very good cause, and as an adult, like, I fully understand that, but at the time, like, I was just a kid, and ultimately what happened was, like, I developed some abandonment issues. But my grandparents on the other side of that really overcompensated, really overcompensated, and they just loved me so much and almost never left me alone, and like showered me with love, I think, you know, just because of the circumstance. So I think leaving them when I was 10 and having that like parental attachment, whatever, abruptly end and start over again, it like continuously happened throughout my life. And I think that made me maybe more avoidant. Your attachment style totally changes based on like who you're dating and what their attachment style is. Although in the past I've had moments where I've been more anxious, in this relationship Rami is definitely like more of the anxiously attached, and I'm definitely more of the avoidant attached. And I think it's all about, you know, balancing those two things and like knowing what the other person needs, and never I'm very conscious and aware of just like not pulling back, that is like my natural instinct in arguments or whatever. I'm always just like, oh, I need space or I need whatever, but I'm, you know, an anxious person, and I've been anxious in the past. I know what that feels like, and it's terrible, you know. So I am now like so aware of that, and I just make sure that, you know, we both make sure that both people just get what they need. I think it's very important to understand your attachment styles, and I think through, you know, if you're in like a good relationship, although he maybe leans anxious and maybe I lean avoidant, for the most part both of us are like very secure, because there's security in the relationship and security in yourself. Now that we're like also just older and things make more sense, so it just doesn't feel as intense as it used to. What do you most look forward to about marriage? I think just being able to build a family and have a family, and I think being family with Rami is something that I'm just like so proud of. Having that commitment level and that support, and having a big family is something I've always wanted. I miss my family in Ukraine so much, and he has such a big family, and I love them so much, you guys. They are the best people I've ever met. So it's just like, I don't know, having our families become family, all these things are so exciting, and being able to like share these moments with my grandparents and with him, and hopefully like our future kids, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. I plan to continue YouTube when you start a family. Absolutely, I do. I don't think I will be showing my kids on video ever. That's always been kind of like a boundary of mine. I always thought that that's where I would end up, and now that I'm older, I'm like just so sure of that. But I still think it's totally possible to not show your kids' faces and like share your life. That's my plan. We'll see. I hope that answers your questions, and I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.